So this is Phil. The date's 11/11/2022. 8 months ago, pretty much exactly where I'm at right here. My wife passed away with me holding her hand. I made a bed right here. She had had a stroke 10 years ago, and she'd been fighting it, and she had a lot of battles, and we battled them together. There's a toxicity in Diet Pepsi with the drug aspartame that it's actually a sweetener, but it's a lot more than that. That I'm convinced did not allow her to recover, and in fact made her symptoms worse all along the way. Then, of course, we had this damn thing, this virus come, and it changed the whole world. And it changed the fact that doctors didn't want to see you unless you had the shot. And that was something that it took a good long time for me to... For me, I took the one-shot J&J only because my company pretty much intimidated us into getting it. And that might be a thing to say, but I worked for that company for 19 years. And a lot of people got intimidated into getting the shot, so I got only the one shot. So I asked around, I said, what's the best shot? And I had people that were taking the Pfizer shot, and they seemed to be doing okay. It seemed to be the least amount of reactions, but unfortunately that turned out not to be the case. My wife was getting sicker. I don't know what it seemed, and the irony is, all during the time she's getting sicker, she has this addiction to Diet Pepsi, and she's drinking more and more of it because I didn't know it was hurting her. And that was one thing that she had that she enjoyed. And I'm like, okay, honey, I'm not going to take away from you. It wasn't smoking. She wasn't doing drugs. She wasn't eating, pounds of fat a day. But it was killing her. Anyway, so she was getting worse. We were trying to get her to the doctor. And doctors would see her, but every time they'd see her, they'd mention that without that vaccine, I'm kind of restricted as to what I can do for you. So it's like, okay, well, she had to get the shot. So she got the shot, and the first shot she took, she didn't have a lot of problems, but the second shot, man, it just shut her insides down. Now, she had a slight constipation problem, but man, after the second shot, she had a massive constipation problem. It absolutely shut her intestines down. And it went on for, I want to say, October, November, December, January, and we got really, really concerned, took her in, and she had AFib, which is irregular heartbeat. And with AFib, they really recommend that you take a blood thinner. And my wife's condition was getting worse. It got worse when she got the 2 shots. It got much worse. And when I talked to my wife about this, we never did things in her health without her knowing about it. And she said, yeah, the doctors say it'll help. I said, well, honey, this is what they say. I went online, I checked it out, and the dosage was exactly what the dosage was supposed to be for a blood thinner patient. And you got to understand, if you're thinning the blood, there's a potential you can loosen blood clots, and they want to get those blood clots dissolved as soon as you start taking the stuff. Well, she started taking it, and And she had 2 good days, 2 really good days, because she felt better. You could tell, I could just tell she felt better. And then the bleeding started out of her rectum as far as taking poop. She only bled, she wasn't bleeding per se, but there was a bloody covering around the stools. And we started, I was talking to her about it. She said, no, I don't want to go to the doctor about this. I said, honey, you know, but one of the things they tell you about blood thinners is you can't take somebody off of them. You could kill somebody if you take them off of it. So, oh man, she had a hell of a go. She went into the hospital because after a couple of days, I said, we gotta go to the doctor. She actually got her nightgown on, and she got in the wheelchair. This is the last thing she wore to the hospital. It's actually cut by the doctors, because they asked me. They said the lady doctor said, can I cut this? I said, cut it. I'll get her a new one. I'll buy her a new one. I don't care. But she went in the hospital. Where's the little thing at? There it is. That was my wife right there. That was my wife right there. She was the love of my life. So I don't want to, I'm getting better. I just want to mention this, and I want to tell you to please stay away from diet anything that has NutraSweet or that has sucralose in it, Splenda sucralose. She had a hell of a reaction to that. So those 2 chemicals are very bad for you. When you take blood thinners, please talk to your doctor. The particular blood thinner, you can see it in the titles. And the reaction to the COVID shots. I mean, I just don't know. It's too late now. One thing I would say to God on this video is that I want to thank Him for watching over my wife and watching over me every day of our lives. And I want to thank Him for taking her in the way that He took her, because she was heading towards being a vegetable in a bed for months, and it didn't work out like that. And I will say this, the last 2 months of her life, where she was being taken care of by hospital personnel, my wife got some of the most wonderful people in the medical community that I've ever seen. So I miss you, Wanda. It's been 8 months, but I'm getting better. I promise you I'm going to stop going to the casinos and wasting money. I'm going to get my head together, and we're going to get this life back together, and I'm going to go back to work because I have to. Because I've always worked, my wife always worked. I retired because I was going to take care of her. We were going to beat this, because we've been fighting it together for the last 10 years. We were going to beat this. We were going to make her better. But man, it was like a tsunami. When I retired, it all happened. Bang, 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 bang. And I would say this too. If you are retiring and you have a loved one and you are lucky enough to have the money to plan for it, please make end-of-life planning for you and your spouse. And I mean, investigate it, see about hospice, see about long-term health care. If you're a young person that's gotten married, please get health insurance, get life insurance that has these kind of options in it. You need to think about it, because you're going to face it. We were blessed in so many ways. I was blessed with her for 39 years. We dated for 7 years, and she finally told me, said, you need to marry me. And she left me, and a week later I said, honey, come on back, I'm ready to marry you. And we were together for 32 years, married, but we were together for 39. And they were the best years of my life so far. And I'm going to have good years still, because I'm going to make her proud of me. I'm going to make God proud of me. And I'm going to intend to live until I'm 110 at least. That's what I'm going to aim for. Now, obviously, I might go in 5 or 6 years, or who knows, I might live to 90 or I might live to 110, but I'm going to go for 110. And, but I just wanted to make this video to say how grateful I am to my wife and to every person who ever lifted me up and lifted up my wife, and that she was a champion like all women I've known have ever been. They're champions. And the beauty in this world, a lot of it comes right through the heart of a woman. And so that's all I want to say. I miss you, honey. I miss you every day. I tell her every day, I say, honey, I miss you. But life has its plans for you, and you will never get to choose those plans. You can work within the confines of that, but you always have to try to make it as far through this thing as you can and help as many people as you can through this thing, because that's one thing that could keep you going. And I mean the simple things. If you just hold a door open for somebody, if you say a nice thing to somebody, if you have a smile for somebody who's having a bad day, because good Lord, I see people who walk and they think they're all alone. I see it. I see them, and I say, hey, how you doing? And they're shocked that somebody said something nice to them. And it doesn't take but a second. So try to spread a little joy in this world, and don't be afraid of life. Be happy that you got all the people in your life that have, just by being nice to you, lifted you up. So I miss you, honey. I love you. It's been 8 months. I still miss you. But we're going to make it to the end of this thing. And we're going to make it long term. And we're going to be okay. Because God always pulls us forward, away from the things that made us hurt. And He always finds a way, every day, to put a little bit more love in your heart. So just keep going. That's all I gotta say. God bless everyone. I love you, honey. Miss you.